This is Mammoth Mountain, the busiest ski resort in California, and along with Vail, Colorado, one of the 2 busiest in the country. Over 1 million people a year ski at Mammoth. It's not too hard to see why. There are about 80 runs, the slopes are beautifully groomed, and the scenery's not too shabby either. This is the top of Mammoth Mountain, elevation 11,053 feet. Straight down, a lot of it looks like from here. A very cheerful ski patrolman just stopped by and said, "It's very lucky we chose to come up here today because the wind isn't very strong." He said some days it would blow us off the cliff. I think he said that, but my ears froze up as he was talking, and I'm going to stop talking now before my jaw freezes too. This kind of weather is not fit for Southern California boys like me, but skiers don't even seem to notice it. They're too busy getting ready for the long trip down. Except not all of them are looking forward to it.
Oh, I hope I can make it down here in one piece, though. My friend the other day went down here and fell all the way down.
How is your friend?
Oh, I guess he's okay, but I hope I'm not like that.
But mostly these people on top of the mountain are avid skiers and just can't wait to hit the slopes for a variety of reasons.
It's a sport that you always find something new. There's always new things. The snow conditions will change. You find new jumps. There's always a challenge.
The creative aspect, and I enjoy challenging myself and seeing myself improve and being with my friends and being out in the outdoors. A lot of reasons.
Because it's fun, it's daring, and it's crazy.
Skiing is not cheap. Unless you own your own equipment, which will set you back a few bucks, you have to rent your skis, boots, and poles. That costs $9 a day at the Mammoth Lodge. Then you have to buy your lift tickets to get you up the mountain, $14 a day. And heaven knows how much people spend on ski clothes. There are no real rules in ski clothes except they're supposed to be warm. Of course, some people don't even think that's important. Cowboy hats seem to be very much in vogue this year, and mostly ski clothes are colorful. I mean, nobody wants to wear white clothes on a white slope, right? Well, there's always somebody that wants to be different. Mammoth gets a little crowded. We were there midweek, and it wasn't exactly deserted. On weekends, and even on Mondays and Fridays, the lift lines tend to look a little bit like the lines at the opening of Star Trek. One great advantage to skiing is that it can be a family affair. If Pop knows how to ski, that's about all that's necessary. Well, actually, Pop has to be able to ski and support the little one at the same time. You find all kinds of different levels of expertise up here. You get the real hotshots, the people that ski like this. And on the other side of the coin, you get people who maybe don't do a heck of a lot of skiing, and they look something like this. And even good skiers sometimes get confused and wind up going down the hill on their faces or their rear ends instead of on their skis. But that's the challenge, having fun and staying in one piece at the same time. Tomorrow we'll spend a little time with a genuine All-America ski bum who is still in one piece. Hal Clement, News 8, Mammoth Mountain. Mammoth Lakes is a nice little town of about 8,000 people, and let's face it, most of them are here to ski. Whether they work at the ski lodge or in town, their major goal is to find time to hit the slopes. As one lodge employee told me, you work here to ski, not to make money. Greg Dressen is from Ontario, California, where he was a retail clerk making about $10 an hour. Now he's in charge of the grocery department at the Pioneer Market in Mammoth Lakes, and he makes about $5 an hour. His schedule was not exactly made in heaven. He works 4 p.m. to midnight most of the time, but one day a week he comes in at 10 p.m., works till 7 in the morning, then comes back at 5 p.m. Greg says he came to Mammoth because the city was getting too hectic for him, and he wanted to ski. Would you call yourself a ski bum?
Yeah, to an extent, I think you'd have to call me that, yeah. I don't know how wide a range ski bum would go, but I think I'd fit into that category.
Seems that most of the people we talk to up here say it would be much more challenging to find someone who isn't a ski bum than to find someone who is.
Right, a lot of people up here are so interested in it. That's what the whole town consists of. Between the summer months and the winter months, people change, and as soon as the snow hits the ground, the town just fills up, and you've got thousands of skiers, and you've got a lot of people here who just come up and live here for the winter to ski.
Greg skis 5 days a week and says one of his goals is to become a really good skier. After watching him take a couple of runs, I would say he has achieved that goal. You almost get the impression that when you're here at the market, you're sort of marking time before you can get back out on the slope.
Exactly. Huh? It's kind of, this is what's getting me through till the next day so I can get back on the slope.
Most ski bums become good skiers. Some of them also become slightly crazy. Witness these gentlemen who think it's a lot of fun to endanger their bodies on this little spot of Mammoth Mountain known as Hare Jump. No one was hurt while we were watching, but you get the feeling an orthopedic surgeon could make a very good living just treating the people who go off of Hare Jump. Tomorrow we'll wrap up our series, and I will give Mammoth Mountain a try. You want to see me go off Hare Jump? You got to be kidding. Hal Clement, News 8, somewhere on the safe part of Mammoth Mountain. On the third day, it snowed. Boy, did it snow. Everybody talked about how cold and miserable it was and went right on getting ready to ski. Some of the locals might have stayed inside, but the tourists were not about to waste a day of skiing. Driving to the slopes that day was kind of tricky because chains were required. If you're driving to Mammoth, which is about an 8-hour drive from San Diego, you should take along a set of tire chains. You should also take along somebody who knows how to put them on the tires. The side of the road was littered with confused Southern Californians who had never taken their chains out of the box before. Once at the lodge, it's time to get outfitted. First, the ski boots. Now, the staff's very nice. They want to make sure the boots are comfortable, which is ridiculous. Unless you're used to them, ski boots feel as if someone has strapped cement blocks to your feet. So with boots swaying you down, you waddle to the ski rental window, pick up your skis and poles, and wait to get your bindings adjusted. They're very careful to get the bindings just right so they give when you fall, but not until then. They do this because they care about you. They also do this so they don't get sued if you fall and break your leg in 14 places. Okay, boots on, skis adjusted, time to hit the slopes. But why, of all days, do I pick the day when the temperature is low, the wind is high, and the snow is swirling? This might be okay for Nanook, but not a guy from San Diego who hasn't strapped on a ski in 5 years. Still, the bad weather doesn't seem to be stopping the other crazy tourists, so on go the skis. It does not take long to get cold, especially if you have forgotten a cap. This comes under the heading of fun, you understand. There are 3 ways to get up the slopes: a gondola, a chairlift, or a T-bar like this one. T-bars can be a little tricky. The impulse is to sit down on them. If you do that, you wind up on your back. The trick is to let the bar pull you up the hill. I've always had the theory that you have to be a fairly good skier to get hurt. Not true. There are more accidents, it turns out, on the lower slopes where the beginners and the intermediates hang out. And there are always reminders that it doesn't take much to ruin your trip. One good idea is to only tackle hills you know you can handle.
Now, some of the expert slopes here, where the hot dogs go, have names like hangmans, paranoids, varmint's nest. You get the general idea. Frankly, I prefer slopes with names like this one, Sesame Street. Catch you later.
Living in Southern California, it's easy to forget that snow can hurt. The cold plus the wind makes the snowflakes feel as if somebody is shooting rock salt at your face with a double-barreled shotgun. After a while, I think I would have killed for a ski mask like this one. It may be cold skiing in weather like this, but it's beautiful too, really. And the fresh powder is a good surface to ski on. But finally it gets to the point where you're convinced your face is frostbitten and you can't see your friends 20 feet in front of you.
And there comes a time, especially on a day like this one, when you want to get inside and enjoy some of the creature comforts. The French call it après-ski. I call it getting warm.
If I sing a new song now, especially for you, would it reach
The lodge at Mammoth does not have an après-ski area, but there are any number of restaurants and bars that'll be more than happy to accommodate you. They'll even throw in some entertainment. This is very much a part of the whole skiing lifestyle, hanging out after the day's skiing is done. And amazingly, we did not see one person resting a broken leg. Must have been a good day.
And after a rough day on the slopes, of course, you have to sit around a roaring fire with a couple of good friends and a nice hot beverage and reminisce about all the dynamite runs you had that afternoon. You know, this sports reporting is a dirty business, but somebody's got to do it. Hal Clement, News 8, Mammoth Mountain. Cheers. Cheers. Cheers.